So we all know Sissy Spacek. She got her prominence in Carrie, but she was also in Tuck Everlasting, JFK from 1991, and she actually got her start in a little bit more prominent role before Carrie in Badlands, 1973. So spare and poetic, it chills you to the bones. Los Angeles Times. In 1959, Kit Martin Sheen, who has billed several people, and his new girlfriend Hallie, who watched him do it, are adrift in a double fantasy of crime and punishment across South Dakota and Montana. They're playing make-believe, but the bullets and bloodshed are real. The first of writer-director Terrence Malick's three landmark films, 1978's Days of Heaven, and 1998's The Thin Red Line, are the others. This was inspired by a real-life 1958 Midwestern billing spree. Malick imaginatively transforms their story into a provocative study of people alienated from everyday life, but fascinating to us. Beautifully shot and memorably acted, Badlands is a spellbinding journey. Yes, it is. This movie was made 52 years ago, and how I interpreted this was it's a movie about choice. It's about freedom. It's about romanticism of living life out in the open and pretending to be, I guess, a little bit like Bonnie and Clyde. Maybe took some influence from this. That's what it is. Technically it is a road movie. It's not like going on a journey or discovering. I mean, it is, but there's also at the same time these little interactions that go on with these people. It's like, yeah, because he has this firearm, he is going to get his way and kind of overpower them, you know. It's the stops that they go at in these beautiful locales. It's just whether we get Montana, whether we get Tulsa, Texas, not Chattanooga, there's Saskatchewan, no, not Saskatchewan. You just look at all these beautiful locales, and you can tell this is a fantastic, beautiful movie to look at, because this movie is about like the freedom of choice and the illusion that being on the run and being your own person when you're trying to desperately survive for food, even if it just means ending a rabbit's life or something like that. And it's just a little disturbing, because the sparseness works in the sense you have to pay attention to the actors, because Sheen is so convincing playing Kit, which I found out is a playful term for Christopher, and you can tell it's like he's just so convincing, even though that the character is 25 and he is having relations with a 15-year-old character. Just Spacek was I think like 24, and Martin Sheen was maybe a little bit older, so it's not too creepy. But at the same time, what's going on screen is creepy. So make of that what you will. This movie is meant to feel like it's supposed to be the 1950s, but at the same time, there's not a whole lot of hubbubaloo about it being the 1950s. This could be the 1970s, because there's barely any reference to what's really going on outside of maybe like the clothing, and a couple of dates mentioned to enunciate that this is 1950. So this is more, so it's like not really a movie about nostalgia, but it's just a movie about just living your life. Maybe it's is it an illusion that you're trying to be like this James Dean character, because that's what this guy right here looks like. He's pretending to be James Dean, you know, just being a quote rebel without a cause and having a firearm right here. So it's just, I don't know. It works so perfectly, but ultimately what happens when you become quite this convincing character? You have to do, I can't believe I'm saying this, it's almost like Breathless, because you have these two you have this dichotomy of characters that's going on, and you look at them because this is a character study movie about do you want to make something out of your life, or do you want to be something that's just more, I don't know, something that's got more pop in your life rather than just being, an everyday or just being an everyday type of person. And that's just how I view this movie. There's some music going on. One is being sung in full Latin or Gregorian chanting because when a house gets arsoned to death, it was like Jesus came out in the garden, he saw that everything was burned down, and he cried. Mary came down, and she saw that Jesus was in pain, and it just goes on like that. That's kind of just what this movie is. It's poetic. It's poetic because of the you could say the syllable count. Every single scene that happens in the movie, it's like 15 minutes in when the father gets billed. It's almost like the feelings that are going on, but everything just happens so quickly. I'm just like, very interesting stuff right here. Of course, because they are fugitives on the run, well, at least Kit is rather than Hallie. The police do come in, and there is a good car chase scene between the cops and him himself, and it's like, it goes down. There is some variety, even though it's on a dirt road. It just works well for me. I don't know. That's what it is. This movie is almost like the straight story. It's about the interactions with all these characters and some potential bad crud that could happen. That's what I'm getting from this, and that's what this movie is. This is one, if you're feeling lyrical, or you're feeling poetic, and you just want to just see some dang good acting and stuff like that, I recommend. That's what this is. Funny piece of trivia. There's supposed to be a scene where Sheen interacts with an extra who rings on a doorbell. But because that extra didn't appear, the director himself, Terrence, had to appear and do the scene, and Sheen didn't want to repeat it, so it was just interesting to see a very unexpected non-Alfred Hitchcock cameo. So that was kind of funny and interesting. So yeah, I don't know. So if you want to see a movie that's very poetic, that's kind of like the straight story, it deals with like the romanticism of the road and conflicting ideals, and I really do recommend that you give this cult classic of Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek, Badlands, a watch.